It's a good time to go ahead and connect with the management of SIS now. Quarter one was a tepid quarter for them with muted revenue growth and margins under pressure. To discuss how quarter two is shaping up and what's the growth outlook, we are now joined by Dhiraj Singh, the CEO at SIS, joining for a few questions. Mr. Singh, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in. Can you give us a sense of how quarter two has shaped up so far? Are you continuing to see that mid-single digit growth? And when do you accelerate back to that double-digit mark that you've seen earlier?
Good afternoon. So SIS, we've always grown at a compounded rate of about 15% over a mid to long-term horizon. And we expect that similar growth to continue. We've seen a robust rebound in both our facility management and security business. In the Q1, we've seen that growth happening, and we see the same trend continue for the Q2. We are working on the improvement of margins. The security margins has largely been improved from last year onward itself. We've seen a growth from 3.9% to almost 5.5% in security vertical. And in facility management, we are seeing quarter by quarter an improvement in EBITDA margin of about almost 250 basis points. Sorry, 25 basis.
Mr. Singh, thanks for outlining that and thanks for joining us. The important question here is you've actually given a guidance as far as maintaining a 6% EBITDA margin is concerned as far as the domestic business is there. Now, talking about the international business, Q1, you did see, the pace of growth slow down substantially over there. And also, you've given a margin guidance in the range of 4 to 4.5%, which is, lower compared to what you're giving for the domestic business. Q2 onwards, do you see international business revive, and what will be the long-term margin target over there? And especially, could you give us a sense of how Australian operations have rebounded?
So historically, if you look, our international business has largely operated between 4.5 to 5% EBITDA margin. And we expect similar margin profile to continue for international. However, for the next quarter, next 1 or 2 quarters, we will have pressure under one particular vertical in the international business, SXP, as we mentioned in the Q1. But by Q4, we expect the international business to normalize at about that 4.5%.
Mr. Singh, talking about the international business itself, in July, Fair Work Australia announced a minimum wage hike of 3.8%. That is with effect from 1st of July. Have you seen that happening in the contracts? How does it exactly work and how does it impact your business there?
So the contracts are for a longer term period and it has a lagged impact. So it is usually the impact for us on our books is after 1 quarter. So we will have the cost impact in the initial quarter and the revenue impact in the following quarter.
And how much would that impact be for you?
Sorry?
How much would that impact be if there is a 3.8% hike by Fair Work Australia? How much would that impact the company if you're saying the impact will come in the coming quarter?
So most of our contracts are on a cost plus basis, cost plus a margin basis. So when the costs go up, then our margin will proportionately increase by that amount.
Okay. Mr. Singh, talking about the facility management business, we understand that right now, you're in the midst of undergoing a review as far as the entire operations over there. We understand you've also weeded out a few businesses where, margins were slightly unviable. Give us a sense as we stand at Q2, how exactly has this particular business panned out? FY25, what is it that you're expecting from the facility management business, especially in terms of margins?
So just to recap on the facility management business, we are India's largest facility management business as of now. Right? Our quarterly run rate is about 550 crores. So that makes us almost 2,300 crores annualized basis. The difference is that our facility management is core facility management services. We haven't added other ancillary businesses to the facility management, which we can add in the future. We wanted to focus on the fundamental core pillars of facility management, and the margins that we are having currently in this core facility management business is still better than many of the industry peers if you compare apple to apple. However, we are nowhere near satisfied with our current EBITDA margin, and therefore our focus is to improve on the existing contracts profitability, focus on the kind of contracts that we are taking, new contracts, also work on the SG&A and other synergies that we have across our 4 facility management entities. We expect from Q4 our margins to come back to the 5.5%, and which will continue to build upon for further improvement in the years to come.
Okay. Mr. Singh, I was looking at the growth rates for this quarter. India Security Solution is up 7.8, International is up 2.7, Facility Management is up 2.2, Cash Logistics is the one where you've seen a 12% growth. It's right now, of course, the smaller part of your business. But going forward, which would be the business that would see the highest growth in your bigger chunk of businesses as well? And what kind of growth are you expecting in just Cash Logistics?
So as you mentioned, cash is definitely one of our rising stars as of now. And not just the growth, it is the EBITDA that is very exciting out there. As you're showing on the screen, it is 17% EBITDA. So it is more than 100 crores EBITDA annualized basis as of now. The good part is that we are focusing on more value-added services in our cash logistics business. So the percentage of revenue that comes from more value-added services is about 8%, what we call banking outsourcing solutions. So it's a proxy play for the banking sector. Any outsourcing requirement that the bank has, we are there to provide that. And
Mr. Singh, if I could interrupt you, we understand, you've also appointed a banker to go ahead and see if there could be a demerger and maybe a subsequent listing of this particular business. Where do you stand on that currently?
Yes, our board has approved for exploring the unlocking of value in this particular joint venture. And as you rightly said, we have bankers who are exploring this, and within a year, we hope to see the tangible output of this.
Okay, all right. So within a year, there could be some decision on the cash logistics business from SIS. Mr. Singh, a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us all those details. So that's the word coming in from SIS.